Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, I never thought we'd return to this franchise, but it's time to talk about Jumanji again. I'm sure a lot of you out there remember the 1995 film starring Robin Williams. Well, I sure as heck do, and while there may be some intense moments, it's still a classic 90s family film, and while not many people remember the animated Jumanji TV series, let's not forget about the Jumanji book by Chris Van Allsburg, whom without, we wouldn't have the classic movie. Also, back in 2017, Jumanji went from a board game to a video game where a group of high school kids became video game avatars while going on a thrilling quest. And while this was a hardcore movie, there were a few mature things, but it was still a pleasant surprise. But just when we all thought the game was destroyed, after Spencer and his friends crushed it with a bowling ball, a new movie just had to be made. So, let's see what this new movie has in store for us. Released on December 13th, 2019, the movie is Jumanji: The Next Level. So, let's start our new game, folks. 3 years after their adventure in Jumanji, Spencer and his friends, Martha, Fridge, and Bethany, have all gone their separate ways. However, the power of the mysterious board game is unlimited, and before they know it, the quartet of reluctant players, along with a pair of unexpected participants, find themselves once again pulled into the dangerous mystical realm. This time, the game has evolved, and challenging new levels await the user's digital alter egos as a mighty adversary bent on destruction threatens Jumanji. Amid unforgiving deserts, treacherous jungle oases, and steep, snow-capped mountains, will Spencer and his friends figure out how to cooperate and get out of there alive? Well, that depends. Anyway, what do I personally think of this movie? Well, I kinda liked it. Yeah, it was equally as thrilling and adventurous, but not as good as the last movie. But let's move on to Mustang notes. After the release of the previous movie, several members of the cast discussed in interviews what a possible Jumanji sequel would be about, including the possibility of the film exploring the origins of the titular game. In February 2018, it was announced that Jake Kasdan would return to direct the sequel, with Scott Rosenberg and Jeff Pinkner again writing the script. Filming began on January 21st, 2019, and took place in Atlanta, New Mexico, Calgary, Fortress Mountain Resort, Imperial Dunes, and Hawaii, before wrapping up on May 11th. Now, in this movie, with the exception of everyone's lives being tattooed to their arms, the Jumanji game has deeply changed after the Jaguar Shrine adventure in the last film. Not only are there new environments like deserts, jungle oases, snowy mountains, and a dangerous fortress, but also dangerous obstacles like terrorists, stampeding ostriches, mandrills, moving rope bridges, and poison darts. Also, everyone's avatars have different strengths and weaknesses compared to last time. And also, there are pools of green water that allows the players to switch avatars, which seems kind of confusing and bizarre. Also, in order to escape Jumanji, According to the guide, Nigel Billingsley, the group must recover the Falcon Jewel, a magical necklace that was stolen by an evil warlord named Jurgen the Brutal, which can end the drought if brought before the sunlight and if the player shouts out Jumanji. Also, like in Welcome to the Jungle, I don't think this is a movie that younger kids should watch, due to a bit of adult language, and there are a few mature things, but I won't mention what they are due to spoilers. Anyway, let's move on to the cast, starting with our avatars. Our returning avatars include Dwayne Johnson as Dr. Xander Smolder Bravestone, who this time has a weakness for Switchblade, Jack Black as Professor Sheldon Oberon, who develops a new skill known as Geometry, as well as 3 new weaknesses: Heat, Sun, and Sand. Kevin Hart as Franklin Mouse Finbar, whose new skill is Linguistics. In other words, he could translate many different languages, including animals. Karen Gillan as Ruby Roundhouse, whose new skill includes nunchucks. And Nick Jonas as Jefferson Seaplane Madonna. The first new avatar for the movie is Ming Fleetfoot, played by Awkwafina, whom I remember from Storks, and she'll be in 3 upcoming films. Now, Ming is a thief with skills in burglary, pickpocketing, and lockpicking, and she has a weakness to pollen. Next we come to my favorite new avatar, a horse named Cyclone, who can run up to quick speeds, carry humans on his back, and he surprisingly has wings, making him a Pegasus from Greek mythology. Next up is Jurgen the Brutal, the newest antagonist and final boss of Jumanji, played by Rory McCann, whom I remember from the 2010 Clash of the Titans remake. This character is presented as an iron-fisted and arrogant warlord responsible for murdering Bravestone's parents years ago. His abilities include ferociousness, rage, leadership, beheading, and immense strength. And he also has hyenas doing his bidding. But his one weakness is the Jumanji berry. Now, let's move on to our main characters, starting with Spencer Gilpin, played by Alex Wolff. In this movie, Spencer had moved to a drugstore job in New York City and was relentlessly pestered by bad luck, causing him to grow more distant from his friends and putting his relationship with Martha on hold. One night, unbeknownst to Fridge, Martha, and Bethany, after visiting his mom and his grandfather, Spencer retrieved the pieces of the Jumanji video game and attempted to repair it, assuming that he would get to play the Jaguar Shrine adventure and would automatically return to the form of Smolder Bravestone again. However, Spencer was harshly proven wrong when he was now in the Mountain Fortress adventure in the form of Ming Fleetfoot. You know what, Spencer? I think you should have left well enough alone. Next is Spencer's best friend, Anthony Fridge Johnson, played by Cedarius Blaine, who played Woody in the trashy 2011 Footloose movie. In this film, Fridge is more of a cool, friendly kind of person, and I like that he's taken a constant routine at the gym after leaving high school. Also, Fridge is a fan of Eddie and Milo's restaurant, which now belongs to Nora Shepherd. Next we have Spencer's girlfriend, Martha Capley, played by Morgan Turner. In this film, Martha has been constantly messaging her friends. However, it seems that only Spencer has not been responding. The thing that I like about Martha in this movie is not only her relationship with Spencer, but due to her experience in Jumanji last time, she knows what to expect and she knows what's going on. Bethany Walker is once again played by Madison Iseman, whom I've talked about in my blog of Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween. In this film, Bethany has done pretty well with her life by visiting more exotic vacation destinations. After her friends got sucked back into the Jumanji game, she can't really figure out how to get back in, so she goes to Alex's place for help. Speaking of which, next we have Alex Vreek, played by Tom Hanks' oldest son, Colin Hanks. After beating the game, with some help from his new friends last time, Alex has gained a family of his own. However, in this movie, Alex helps his friends get through Jumanji just like what they did for him. While in Jumanji, Alex buys the group warmer clothes and he rescues them from a pack of mandrill. Plus, Alex reminds them that they can do anything and he knows them better than anyone. Our first new character is Spencer's grandfather, Eddie Gilpin, played by Danny DeVito. Eddie is a retired diner owner following the sale of a diner that he used to own. And he also has very little understanding of video games. In this movie, Eddie is staying with his grandson while he's recovering from a hip surgery. However, after selling his diner to Nora, he becomes so angry that he refuses to make amends with Milo. Also, while inside Jumanji, Eddie can be very stubborn and reckless. Finally, we have Eddie's estranged friend, Milo Walker, played by Danny Glover. Milo used to co-own the diner with Eddie before its sale ended their friendship. Several years later, Milo discovered that he had an unspecified illness, and he doesn't have a lot of time left. In other words, Milo is going to die soon. So, he visits Eddie to try to make amends. Throughout the movie, Milo and Eddie, constantly argue a lot during the game, but they eventually reconcile, and Milo reveals his reason for wanting to restore his friendship with Eddie. At the end of their adventure, Milo decides to stay behind and protect Jumanji. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, Jumanji: The Next Level is a good movie, but I don't think it tops the last two films. Yes, the movie has thrilling action and adventure, good character development, and great performances for some of the characters, and it does have some tough new challenges. Though the green water switching a player's avatar was pretty weird and also confusing at the same time. However, like I said earlier, this is not a movie that younger kids should watch due to adult language, a bit of crude humor, and some intense moments. Still, if you like Jumanji, then I guess this is a film you should watch at least once. I give this movie a 78% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. But if you think Jumanji is over, think again. Because, judging by that mid-credits scene, it looks like we're gonna get another movie, which I think is happening next year. Anyway, be sure to join me again next time, because I have a very special blog to make for my friends at Musical Theater Village. Mustang Power.